Good evening, listeners, watchers from Nigeria, across Africa, and around the world. This is Smart Mado Ajaja, the convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unites, and the anchor of Nigeria Now, Global Matters Arising. Good morning, Africa, and reggae at its best on ONN. Yeah, it is 11:50 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Houston, Texas. And that is, I would say, 7 a.m. in Nigeria, 7:50 a.m. in Nigeria. And whatever time it is, wherever you are on the surface of the earth. Today, I have the pleasure of having a great brother, a die-hard both Nigerian and Biafran patriots, in the person of Charles Ugumba, all the way from Los Angeles, California. Professor Ugumba, Mr. Ugumba, Brother Ugumba, Patriot Ugumba, welcome to the show. I don't know if you need any further introduction, but you can go ahead and tell the people a little bit about you because we always get newcomers every day.
Thank you, Lion Ajaja. It's a pleasure to be on your program. I'm like the next Nigerian listening to you. The only difference is that I speak Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. I'm a Nigerian, but most importantly, I'm a Biafran. I am a Nigerian until it becomes impossible to be a Nigerian. Then I will have to manifest my native instinct, which is Biafra. We're a free people. We don't prostrate for anybody. We don't start and do rankadede for nobody. We are Igbo, democratic people, independent people. We live from the sweat of our brow. That's all I can say about me for this time.
All right, thank you very much. Today, we are going to be considering the disastrous national security collapse in Nigeria and then preferring a way forward. Now, Nigeria became independent, according to them, on October 1st, 1960. And about 6 years later, everything came crashing. And since then, the country has never been the same. And our national security has not been at its best. It has been this patch and leak thing. Now, what from independence? I know you were born before independence. What was policing like at independence?
Well, you have the native authority police and then the Nigerian police, but I'm not an authority on the pre-independence police structure in Nigeria. I will be more concerned with what will be the future police structure of either the continuing nation of Nigeria or the succeeding nation of Biafra if Nigeria refuses to hold. We are about a place where justice is seen not only to be fair, but also to be available to everyone. We have to use all the modern instruments of policing. We cannot depend on the impunity police that we have in Nigeria, where members of our National Assembly, pass through checkpoints mined by police, where they are shaking down citizens, extorting them, beating them, because, like they say, who born dog? What are you gonna do? We're not gonna have a Nigeria of what are you gonna do, run by Fulani or run by anybody who is above us, thinks is superior to us, has more grace from God. His God puts him in charge of me. All of that bull will have to just go out the back door.
All right, thank you very much. Michael Chambers, thank you very much for joining Terry Zinn. We appreciate your presence here. And Morris, and if you are joining us for the very first time, please do us one favor and help us grow because this is how we got to where we are, and our growth has been rapid. And, with thanks to great people like you, we are lucky to have organic subscribers. So help us grow by being part of our membership. Send us super thanks, send us gifts to continue to keep us afloat and more reachable to others. So if you are this is your very first time being here, we welcome you from the heart. And our loyal and returning subscribers and members, we can't thank you enough for what you do. One way you can expand our mission, help us expand our mission, is to continually share, like what we do, because that incites YouTube, and they won't have no choice but to continue to push our message to those who desperately need it for their redemption, especially those in Nigeria and the rest of Africa, and perhaps here too, because every situation, every country has its own peculiar crisis. Our message is generic. You can, when we say Nigeria, you can replace Nigeria with your own country if what we are talking about speaks to you. All right, Joker Korop from greeting from Israel. Thank you very much. We appreciate your presence here. All right, so let's roll. So what we are talking about is the policing in Nigeria. The policing in Nigeria, it has never been great, but where we are right now is not. We don't have a policing system. Now, Mr. Gumba, yes, how did you think we got this type of police that we have right now, that has generationally gotten worse to where we are now at a very dangerous crescendo?
It's not only the Nigerian police that is bad. Every institution of the Nigerian government is terrible because they are founded on impunity. We are an occupied nation. The people who make the laws in our country, who give the directives, who are able to use the instruments of coercive force, do not have the interest of indigenous Nigerians at heart. These people are gypsy-like people who use a false narrative to capture the most populous segment of the Nigerian community and have used their vote. They actually use their numeric
Strength.
values, yes, their numeric strength to seize the political power in Nigeria and continue to use that political power to pass not just economic but also security regulations that benefit them only. So we don't have a Nigerian institution that is better than terrible. All of them. Some Nigerians will say, oh, why are you abroad and giving Nigeria a bad name? You know Nigerian institutions are bad institutions. You have to pay money across the counter in a police, a post office to get your mail delivered to you. You'll be extorted in daylight, in full view of everybody, regardless that cameras capture the deed and nothing happens. Justice, there is no justice in Nigeria. We want this Nigeria to be changed, washed away, and a new Nigeria emerges. I've lived in America for 35 years. I dare not even insinuate gratification to a US peace officer, let alone offer one, which is a felony itself.
All right. All right. Nigerians who are joining, please, Africans who are joining, friends of Nigeria, friends of Africa, help us share this message, because this is a very, very serious issue. Because the country Nigeria is cascading into oblivion because of the tragedy of leadership and failure of all of its institutions, including the police and other security forces, especially the Nigerian armed forces. We're going to be talking about that. So, Mr. Gumba, what do you think is the way forward?
Wait, you said failure of our institutions. They were never succeeding. They were instituted to fail. They were failing ab initio. From day one, they were failing because they were grounded on fraud. It was a fraudulent relationship. When you even see the map of Nigeria and see what is considered as not, you know it's a fraud right there. Not. They did not even say, okay, and the demarcation line is the Niger and Benue.
Yeah.
Anything above the Niger and Benue, which are our two prominent rivers, is not. And no, they just stole Nigeria in broad daylight.
But how did we come to accept this for all this long? This
No,
fraud,
they
and they
put
have
us to,
stamped it in the head of the people,
they
and the
put
people have accepted it as normal.
they put us together with people who are numerically over and above us and have their votes captured, warehoused by a minority that will always ensure that as long as the government is on the wrong course, every procurement will come from England, from the Crown Council. The British did that, handed our government irretrievably to nincompoops who will always order every indent of public works from Britain. That's what it is. We are tethered to Britain through some people that will not relinquish us.
So, what is the way forward for this from
All
this
of
here?
all over Africa, all over Africa, there is not one incidence of we the people. There is no country in Africa where the people tell its government what to do. We the people telling our government what to do, like is in America. And the way that happens is the seizure of police functions by the state. They put a federal police and then they appoint somebody from somewhere who is not a resident of that community, did not grow up there, has no inclination, to be of upright character. They put him there. In America, every community has its own police. If you are up to 50,000, you got to have a police. Your tax money, your tax, property tax, revenues should be able to support a fire department, a police, and all the other social services that go with that population. A population of 50,000 ought to have no less than 200 police officers and about 50 cars minimum for effective patrol.
Well,
If I call the police now and say, "Oh, I just come home and this place was boggled," yeah, they may take 3 hours to come here and get a report because they do it by priority. But if I say somebody's just been shot now, the cops will be here in 4 minutes flat.
absolutely, absolutely. Now, you talked about, they are talking about state police in Nigeria. What is your take? What will be the difference between the state police and the so-called federal police that they have right now in Nigeria?
It's a state police in Nigeria is a day late and a dollar short. We don't need state police. It will be more of the same. It will be the same like their federal police. They will be bought over by politicians and so on and so forth. We need our own police from amongst our own selves, whom we know when they were growing up, what kind of people they are, whether they were young people who had a volunteer spirit, who went to help with the widows, with the hospitals, with cleaning sewage, what do you call them, gutters, and things like that. We want people who have, before you get a government job, you must show a track record of being somebody who is a uniter. That is somebody who makes the community do that which is beyond their belief of themselves. Somebody who invigorates the community. We can't just give you a job, a civil service job, and we don't know what character of person you are. We want our police to be inherently from amongst ourselves, so that when we see a sergeant's wife changing wrappers like, it's going out of business, or they are buying land, because money is a hard commodity. Money will talk in your pocket if you don't, keep it quiet. So if we see them buying land, we'll know that maybe the husband is beginning to take too much, bribes left and right. And we can investigate them and prosecute them there with nobody coming from provincial headquarters to take the case away. And the
Great.
whole thing dies there, which is the perversion of justice that is rampant in Nigeria today.
All right. So with this arrangement, what type of do you think the federals should have still have one kind of policing system for the at the federal level that as we maybe
Yeah,
in like of in the neighborhood of the FBI that we have here in the United States.
we will have federal contingents all over. They are into the investigate federal crimes in the districts, in the states, and so on. But after they are done with the investigation, they transfer their findings to the precinct where the crime was committed. If a drunken major general hits somebody in the market square, we don't want that case going anywhere. That case will be arbitrated there where it happened. We want each state, or I don't know how numbers will work that out.
Yes.
Any number of states will have their own police colleges. All police colleges having the same curriculum dealing with their understanding of Nigerian law, so that it can be applied evenly. Our laws are written, this is not ambiguous. And then you apply it where you are. Our police recruited, hired and fired from among us. They will report to us, to our council, not the traditional council, because this traditional council in Nigeria, that is a disgrace. It's an insult on us to have warrant chiefs that the British appointed, process servers, who, when the British left, just because he knows the massa and he answer him sir and sir, he becomes the go-between. He becomes the chief, the autonomous head, the red cap chief, his highness, and all that bullshit. You know, that's nonsense. It's like
All
every other person is a chief. Too many chiefs, very few Indians.
right. All right. Good. I was going to ask you that question. It looks like you preempted me. And then now, where so are this community policing that community policing strategy? I love it. This is why we're having this conversation, because for some of the things that are happening in Nigeria, for instance, some people traveled maybe over 300, 500 miles from wherever they came from, came to my hometown. And since the past 3 years, they have kidnapped over 100 persons. And then they murdered 10 of them. And the most painful one was a baby who was born in captivity. They threw that baby to their dogs, and their dogs mauled that baby. The mom watching the baby being mauled by their dogs died, as a result of the trauma. You know what that means. And every time I remember that, I cry. It hurts me so badly. So I would think that if we had a policing system in my hometown, manned, driven by my people, they would have preemptively prevented that from occurring. Because when they see people who don't look like they are from the neighborhood, I think they are prompted to ask questions about who they are, where they live, and what their business is in that location. Because being somebody, when I used to travel, walk around this country, there were communities I went into, some colleges, some universities. And when before 10 minutes, the police will accost me. What are you doing here? And I have to explain, show my ID, and they will run a check on me to ensure that I was not an immediate threat to that campus. I think we should do that. Now, the next question I'm going to be asking, you said something. There has to be a control mechanism for these police officers that we are working, perhaps, hopefully, and I believe that that is where we are going to be landing, in order for us to change this ugly trajectory that has killed so many of our people. So, how will this police, how would they be controlled? I don't want to see a policing system, a community policing system that is supposed to be working for the people of for instance, my community, your community, being hijacked by one man they say is traditional ruler. Do you think these police officers should be under the control or the management of these traditional rulers, or by the community by themselves?
Well, first and foremost, before I answer that question, I will just piggyback to to a situation that is, uh, you know, adjunct to that. The Nigerian army and the role it plays in Nigeria is criminal. They have no business being on the street maintaining law and order.
That's not their job.
Their job is to protect our boundaries and to defend us in an external conflict. They have no internal role. When they patrol our streets, we are like an occupied nation. That's the first thing. And that is only possible because the Fulanese who use the Hausa to control Nigeria want to control the force. They want to use the force against us. So they redesignate their roles. But the the police that we are going to have in the future will not look like anything that we have now. The Nigerian government, nobody even mentions it, spent millions of dollars sending civil servants when they were adopting the US presidential system of government to America. They went in shiploads to go and study the American system. What they did is that when they came back to Nigeria, they took away everything that had to do with, um, you know, responsibility, accountability.
Yes.
They've just picked, cherry picked it. We don't want that kind of police. We want our own police. Before you go to the college, the training college, we nominate you. We know who you are and your character. You'll be accountable to our city council, not the chief. The chief has nothing to do with these customary chiefs that they have. Those people, I have no name for them,
All
you
right.
know. So we don't want that kind of police. We want a police that mirrors the US system.
Okay. The next question is the question of funding. How will this policing system be funded?
There are properties in Nigeria worth millions. Property tax in America is is how districts operate their schools, the property tax, and all the civil works. We can't have people with expensive mansions that don't pay property tax or don't pay it annually, commensurate to the value of their property. So we have to work that. Yes, there is state subvention, but a good part of the working capital, for their capital expenditure and even recurrent expenditure should come from property tax and all kinds of ordinances taxation, like
Okay.
for
What
hawkers.
about
Yes,
I have an in addition to what you said, yes, these people, especially those who live lavishly off of state funds, build all these build all these big mansions that we don't know the sources of their income except from stealing. They need to pay something, to continue to keep those expensive mansions. But in addition to that, I have another suggestion. Why not we look at what is being spent today on the bogus federal police? All right, and look at take an inventory of how many police officers we have in Nigeria, because that the policing apparatus right now has to be dismantled. Now, when we look at how much money is being invested in this wasteful and very, very incompetent police force that we have right now, and then channel the money to city police across the country. Don't you think that would be a good way of doing it?
before America invaded Iraq, it took them almost 6 months planning the logistics and so on. Nigeria currently is in a holding pattern. That's why you hear all these Fulani terrorists and their leaders and so on talking from both sides of their mouth. We don't know what is going to happen. If you are asking this question as if Nigeria, you are certain that Nigeria will remain one entity. It may not, because there is so much of lopsided justice in Nigeria that there is no reason why we should be one country. It is so lopsided. We can't have people from Kazauri, from Jamaica, and so on, owning oil wells, and the people of the Niger Delta don't have water to drink, cannot fish in their ponds, their farmlands caked with oil, waste.
Yes, pillages, yes.
Yes, we can't have that. We can't have that kind of Nigeria where everything is based on state of origin, tribe, and so on. We get all our oil revenue, we share it together, but then we go back and restrict opportunities in each other's states to personal belong. We
I
can
can,
do have that.
I
So
can.
Nigeria is in a holding pattern. We don't know if we're going to be one country or more. If we don't,
All right. Well,
because
yeah. Let's hope that.
because for us to remain as one, this
Yes,
current Nigeria must dissolve, must change.
absolutely.
There is
I'm
nothing that is
in total,
worth taking from
total
this.
agreement with you. I'm in
Yes.
total agreement with you. Hey, Clement Jeba, thank you very much for joining us. And please subscribe. And I know you are Nigerian. Please share this stream with other Nigerians. Let them come and hear the truth about what should be happening in Nigeria, a country where the people are held in captivity with no option of asking any question about why they are being held. But we are coming here to tell you today that you have two sets of rights. One, basic human right. Your right to your life, right to your choice, right to freedom of expression, like we are speaking very openly and freely, right to freedom of association, right to worship whatever you call God without being molested by anybody, and the right to self determination. And you know what? All these rights are enshrined in the United Nations Charters of Human Rights and the African Charter of Human Rights and in the Constitution of that fake Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that not many of you read is there, right to self determination. So that is why those who criticize those who are agitating for Biafra, that is how dumb and irresponsible they are. Go and read that constitution. You will see the right to self-determination boldly written there. So it's a basic human right. So any person who criticizes them or attacks them is violating their rights. So outside that, your basic human right, as citizens of Nigeria, you have rights. Yes, that makes you that citizen of Nigeria. And that's the right for you to live in any part of Nigeria, pursue happiness, do your business there, go to school, do whatever you do, contribute to the local economy there. Yes, as a citizen of Nigeria, without being reminded that you are an Igbo man, you live in Yoruba land, especially in Lagos, and then you have to be sent back home. And like I was stabbed in Kano in 1991 for being not a Muslim or being, perhaps they say I'm Igbo and all that, because but I'm in my country. They attacked me and nearly killed me. They killed my friend and killed thousands of people. So that does not make the citizenship of a country real, and that is why we have been struggling. That's why we have been limping. Nigeria is not a nation, but we can make it a nation if we all become conscious and come with commitment to working for Nigeria. The disastrous mistake our founding fathers made, with the exception of one who showed a class of nationalism, but he was misunderstood and forced into making some very dangerous compromises that brought us here. Yes, and that is why we are here. But every generation must owe their country a duty to make it better. But sadly, three going to four generations of Nigerians have woefully failed and made the country worse than it was at independence. Now, this is the challenge for this generation. What are you willing to do? Are you still going to be tied to this bondage of tribalism, religious nationalism, nepotism, and all that in the 21st century when the rest of the world is advancing their own courses using their best? Now, when we love to play soccer, we love soccer. Nigerians are great soccer lovers. But whenever we want to play soccer, what do? Oh, we want to bring the best 11 to play for us. Yes, just for mere soccer, 90 minutes, and it is over. But we are talking about a country. We are talking about lives. We are talking about the destiny. We are talking about a future. But we don't take that country seriously. Whenever we have an opportunity to choose our leaders, we choose the worst amongst us. And I expect our country to be an Eldorado. Now consider what you contributed, either through your active participation, your passive participation, your remote participation, or your non-participation at all, to see why Nigeria is the way it is. We all are at fault. So we have a moment to do some introspection about what we want Nigeria to be going forward. We want the hell that is raging everywhere now, where one group of people will go to a village, and they wipe the people out, take everything they have. They take their houses and stay there, drive the owners of the village or the villages into IDP camps. Yes, where they never return. Is that fair?
And,
Is
and we
Yes.
and we have an army where maybe if one of them in uniform gets drunk in a public place and start misbehaving, and maybe there's an altercation, within hours, they will send truckloads of soldiers to come and burn that community out,
Yes.
which they do routinely in
They,
the
yeah,
South.
they did it in Delta not too long
They are,
ago.
they are, they are able to act with swift destruction on a certain portion of the country. And in other parts, they don't do anything at all.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we can't have that.
No, we can't.
In America, where you file your taxes, they don't ask you if you are from this place or that place. You are a resident. As a citizen, you are a resident of where you filed your taxes. If I move to Arizona now, I may say because I lived in California for 9 months of the year, even though I'm now in Arizona, I will file in California because I spent most of the year in California.
Yes.
But next year, when I will be full time, 12 months in Arizona, I'm an Arizona resident. That's how it should be. If we cannot have a country where the mobility is fluid, then let's just go our separate ways. I don't want anybody to tell me that their religion is superior to mine, that their tribe is superior to mine. You know, none of those two determinants, tribal and religion, which determine what you get and how you are treated in Nigeria. I don't want anybody to qualify me with those parameters.
Absolutely. Now, I want to ask you a question. A lot of Nigerians are joining this stream right now. Now, so you've lived here for I don't know how long, but I know it's long enough. Have you
Yes.
ever been reminded or told by anybody that you should go return to your home country or return to your state by just the street person, not the government? You know, a fellow American or American that you meet, he sees you and say, "No, you need to go back to your country." Have you ever been told?
Well, people, the sensitivity from person to person is relative, you
Absolutely.
know. And incidentally, some lady has told me that before. It was somebody of Irish descent. I'm a citizen of the world. Anywhere I am standing on this world, I have a right to be there. That's number one. And I cannot have somebody who escaped Europe on a potato famine, famine. You are not a Native American. The same way you are a citizen is the way I'm a citizen.
Yes.
You know, you have to, uh, in Igbo, they say, when stuff is shared out, you got to hold them, index them, and weigh them and see which one. You got to test people before you just say anything. You
And,
can't talk to me anyhow like that.
all right. Yes. No, the reason I'm asking you this is what we see in Nigeria. In fact, like what
Yeah,
happened.
where is rampant? Here,
Yes, it's so
here,
rampant.
yeah, here. The people who do it are considered ignorant. In street slang, they are called ignorant. They don't know nothing because you can't say that to anybody at all who is a citizen just like you.
Yes.
Okay, but in Nigeria, you will see some Fulanis will gather together in a table and they'll issue a threat, a communique, and Igbos to do this and so on. They were all saying that based on when they have had the full feeling and control of the Nigerian army and its access to coercive force and so on and so forth. But they are tampering down because they know that the music is changing and we are not going to go back to the same Nigeria we had. Even people like El Rufai, you hear him talking from both sides of his mouth. Gumi, they are confused. They don't know. They are just grabbing for straws. These people are Nigeria was based on a criminal foundation run by criminals for so long. And whereas I know many of them and I understand their culture very well, it will not stop me from calling them out. You know, I'm not going to allow anybody to hold anything against me because he thinks he's a superior Christian or he
Mm.
thinks he's a superior Muslim. You know, all of those are foreign religions. They are lying people, Arabs and Jews, stepbrothers, who one saw that the other was making money using the name of God. He formed his own company, and they have been coming all that way. These Arabs were the reason why the knowledge that was set up in Egypt, all the high physics, that was beginning to decimate slowly into Negroid Africa, had gotten to Timbuktu and Guinea and so on, coming like that, why it moved up. Because worry from Saudi Arabia, they put everybody to the sword who will not convert, will not pay tax, or leave. And people kept escaping westwards towards Libya, Morocco, and so on, until they got to the, Carthage, where it's just 22 miles from Africa into Europe. And all those, in times like that, the first people to leave are the tradesmen, the artisans, the bricklayers, masons, and so architects, and so on. And they moved from there into Europe. And that's how the what do you call them, Europe got out of the dark ages. Islam is the reason why Africa is backward today. They chased the knowledge that was developed in Egypt. They chased it into Europe and got the white man to come out of caves. Don't take them,
Interesting.
don't take them with a grain of salt. Them and their lying Christians who say that God had a son, God who made us male and female. Why will he have a son and not have a daughter? So that they can now become in-laws of God, front row seat people, and then I will be secondary. Me who was created first before them. People should know what is in their head, know what you believe and what you think. The African mind is enslaved. We can't think in our own language. We can't see God in our own self, except through an Arab who, when he starts speaking, explaining to people in Hausa, all of a sudden he would descend into Arabic as if, oh, now I'm going to bring out the big guns. This explanation has to be done in Arabic, in the language of God and the language of his messenger. And these are bullshit.
All right. Um, Now we are where we are. Just a few days ago, a statement came out by some people who claim that they are Northerners or Northern leaders, asking the government of Nigeria to consider converting the terrorists in our forests into security guards that will be policing our forests. I don't know if you saw it, so I would love to hear your take on this, especially as we are talking about the embarrassing national security crisis in Nigeria and the best way to solve it.
Well, they are grabbing for straws. They are confused. They don't know what to do. Their terrorists in the forest will not know to leave. There's no way they can escape. Even if they go outside Nigeria, this program is to scoop them up. They'll be burnt and incinerated where they are. They will not have to be seen with weapons so long as they are wearing that, any form of uniform, look like a terrorist with that wrap on their head or however they look, they are carbon. They are going to burn. The US government is continuing with its, you know, the computations, trajectories, whatever, whatever. Do you know, and did you hear Netanyahu say that they will also help in providing intelligence? Have you ever seen Israeli intelligence go wrong? If even when they want somebody, when they wanted what is his name, Adolf Eichler for Eichmann from Argentina, wherever you are, all these people, Gumi, El Rufai, Pantami, and so on, all these people who
Saad.
ate,
You
yes.
mentioned Saad.
Oh no, Saad, that is the Satan. That his palace will be turned into a museum of Hausa, you know, civilization. All of them, they're going down. They are going down.
Great, great. Now, um, there has been a lot of movement, a lot of activities, especially in what they say is the north, and a lot of rumblings coming from the Hausa people. I don't know if you are observing anything. If you want to share a little bit, superficially what you know about what is taking place right now, the brewing Hausa rebellion. You know,
I listen to a lot of Hausa reels, and I know where their mind frame is. There is a Hausa awakening. They have actually identified their problem, and their problem is the Fulani that had their knee on Hausa neck perpetually for over 200 years. The Fulani killed their kings, dominated them. If Nigeria is complaining 65 years of domination by Fulani, imagine what Hausa went through. So the Hausa are very galvanized, and they don't want anything Hausa Fulani, you know. In any poll, the Fulani will still have some of their numbers, but they have lost majority of Hausa. First of all, the Hausa now know that they and Fulani do not practice the same Islam. They knew all along, but it was not very in your face. You know, Izala and all those Fulani organs and so on. When they get together, Northern Consultative Forum, Northern Disease Forum, who are they talking for? Barkin Ladi, Yelwata, Zamfara, who is these Fulani people talking for as Northern anything? Nobody.
yeah. So how come whenever they talk about this north, we don't see any other group of people that are supposed to be in that north that they tell us exists, but Fulanis? How come? What is it about?
All habits die hard because remember they were in charge of everything. They determined everything for Hausa. They collected on behalf of Hausa and kept it to themselves. They made Hausa work for them. They made Hausa stoop, you know, just should I say, just get into a possum position, contract when a Fulani man emerges. That's how they dealt with them, you know. But that's not going to continue anymore. All of that has changed, you know. Like anybody saying, if Peter Obi is listening to this, do not pick whether you will be the number one or number two on the ticket. Don't be in any ticket that has a Fulani man. You will lose. Not Atiku, not Kwankwaso. You know, if you don't, because many Igbo people who have not lived in Hausa land do not understand the mentality of the Bahaushe. Do not, in this new dispensation, do anything with a Fulani man. Either you pick a Hausa man to run with as your vice, or you as his vice. However you work it out, I don't care. But he got to be a Hausa man.
So why are you so optimistic about 2027 that there will be 2027 politically in Nigeria?
See, America is going to give Nigeria a long rope to bury itself. One of the things they will only be adhering to is getting their act together to make sure that these terrorists, first and foremost, do not disturb Christian areas and, in addition, Muslim areas as well. But they will allow Nigeria to do a semblance of work so that when they come in, it is because Nigeria, like the Nigerian army, they're working with Nigerian army against these terrorists now. Eventually, they will discard Nigerian army if they find out that Nigerian army is not doing the needful.
Now, the killings are continuing. They have not abated. Just a few days ago, they kidnapped 177 Nigerians from a church, and as we speak, they are still being held in captivity. So, what message does it send to the international community?
Their cup is filling up. When you cut grass in the morning, it still looks fresh. It doesn't wither until in the evening time. So their cup is filling up. They will not curb it in one day. It did not start in one day, but their cup is filling up. you know. And if America and Israel say they will bring this to a halt, they certainly will. Anybody who is telling them what they should do and what they should not try with Nigeria, like Asari Dokubo, Mahmoud Gumi, and so on, what they are doing is that they are setting fire to the mattress they are laying on.
Now, okay, I've been following commentaries coming from Iran, and especially uh, the Iranian involvement with and Turkish involvement in what is happening in Nigeria, the terrorism that is taking place in Nigeria. As we speak right now, the rogue president of Nigeria is on a state visit to Turkey. So, what's your take on that?
Um, he's not working for Nigeria anyway. He's either taking loans so that he can get his cut off the top, or he is, going up to talk up some business deals for himself and his family, and so on. That has been his modus operandi. But whether Turkey or Iran, however those arms are being sourced, they will be halted. That supply will be snuffed out.
Hmm. Now, coming to this whole thing, now let's look at the whole of Nigeria.
And Iran can't threaten America, no matter what they can say, oh, the great Satan and so on. They put their foot in their mouth, they get burnt.
Okay. Now, how do you expect the whole of Nigeria to play in this whole thing that is playing out right now? I've been talking to a lot of young Hausa children. A lot of them, call me, talk to me, seek my opinion about a lot of things, and I would believe that we're having this very serious conversation. That if the Hausa people are not free in Nigeria, do you think the rest of Nigeria will be free?
No way, no way. They are the joker. The people, Hausa has the key to whether Nigeria goes south or stays above water. You know what I mean by south? That is they go down. You know, and they are ready. They are ready to play that role. The average ordinary Hausa, forget about those. There are those who have to eat through Fulani, like those with those red and green Babanriga, Andoka and all those, those native, what do you call them, provosts and whatever. Those people who bow to the Sarakuna and so on. When they fat, they take all the
when,
wheat.
when Saad speeds, they dive. This Saad, his speed does not touch the ground though.
So
Whenever he speeds, somebody will dive before
yeah,
this.
minus those. There are young Hausa, and Hausa are good people. They just
Very
have
good
been
people.
downtrodden for a long time, a long, long time. You know, so when they dispossess, and there will be a 2027. Don't think there will be no election. There's not going to be any not stopping election. There will be an election in the typical Nigerian fashion. It will not be completely free and fair, but the results will be acceptable. And one thing is that Hausa will, as much as possible, or at least more than ever before, discount Fulani. They are not going to vote Fulani in the critical mass that they used to, like sheep without, just following Fulani, whatever Fulani say. Now they know that Fulani are the ones who are their worst enemies.
All right. Hey, Clementina, how are you? Chidebe, Chidebenkiri, how are you? Thank you very much for joining. And Ugu Christian, we welcome you. Good morning. How are you? Please, if you have not subscribed to our channel before now, please do so. And liking what we are doing. If you truly like it, like what we are doing from your heart. Let it. We are not forcing you. If you are doing it from your heart, you really love this conversation and the way it is flowing. Just give us a like and help. That helps us to continue to grow, and it helps us expand our mission and reach more people, especially Nigerians who need this message. Yes, this message. What we are talking about today is the embarrassing national security in Nigeria, where the police cannot police Nigeria because the structure, the policing system is wrong, very, very wrong. It's not the type of policing system that we ought to have. Where policing works, policing has to be provided by those who have clear understanding of their immediate environment, people that we saw growing up. They live with us. We can hold them accountable. If they steal from us, we know their houses. We know how we used to hold a village meetings, bring them out, disgrace them. That's the only policing that is going to work. You can't bring a policeman from Sokoto, you post him to my hometown. He doesn't know anything about the place. Then he becomes a terror right there. Everybody is scared of him, and then starting the people and even shooting and killing them. Yes, out of his ignorance of the environment and the greed for money. So that system has not worked since the past 65 years, and it's not going to work. And the system is responsible for why some people will come from somewhere, come from Sokoto, come from Zamfara, come from anywhere they come from to come and kidnap our people, kill people in Enugu, kill people in Aguata, go to Imo, Ahia Zombies, kill, and then get away with it. So we want policing to be localized. Every town should get a police. All right, and a man no man. We know all the roughnecks in our villages. So when anything happens, they are the ones that we're going to hold accountable. When strangers that we don't know before come in some dangerous numbers, we'll be able to preemptively know them. So that's the type of policing that we're talking about. Mr. Charles Ugumba, yes, an ex-Biafran soldier, diehard Nigerian patriot, is the one discussing this. He has a wealth of knowledge about what should be done. I hope we are listening. And that one thing you should do for us is to share this message so more people will listen to this broadcast. So if you are coming for the very first time, we welcome you. Mr. Ogumba, thank you very much for being always, coming in just you know once we want you here, you don't waste time, you don't say no, you just jump in. This is a very critical national issue that it has been troubling Nigeria, and the best way to do it is solve it. Some people don't want it solved this way because that's how they have been oppressing our people. So our job is to wake up our people to continue to demand for this. We need community policing, not state police. State police will come again into the hands of state governors, corrupt state governors, and who will politicize it, only appointed their party members. This one we are talking about, man, no politics, because you don't play politics with your life. You don't play politics with your security. You don't play politics with the security of your children. So our schools will be safe. When our children go to school, they know that they are in a safe environment. That is what this whole thing. We are not politicians. We are not politicians. We are speaking the truth that most Nigerians are afraid of speaking, so that we will get that type of Nigeria that will work like America is working. In Nigeria, nothing works. Even this ordinary to drink water in Nigeria is a job on its own. It's not because you may struggle to find the real water. All right, some people go into their restroom, pee into the bottle, but cork it and go and sell it because of the rocks in our system. So, and the reason is all these things are happening is because majority of us Nigerians were very selfish people. And when a people become selfish, their country suffers. That is why you have collapsed roads. That is why you have hospitals that don't work. That is why there is darkness in Nigeria, regardless of the fact that we produce gas that is now serving Europe. Yes, can you imagine that? We are the ones giving Europe gas, but we cannot generate electricity. We have crude oil. We are exporting millions of barrels of crude oil. We can't we can't we can't power our country. Don't you know that something is wrong? Nigeria is very wrong. Nigeria, that is not a country. A country where nothing works, a country where you have to know someone before you get anything. Look at me and Mr. Ogumba. Here, we were born in Nigeria, but we came here. You need to see when we go to government offices, when we go to holla, say, this is my right, give it to me. And they'll be telling you, yes, sir, please, can you be patient? Yes, I'm telling you, during COVID-19. Now, let me shock you. Personally, I received over 10,000 US dollars. I did not apply for it. I did not go to anybody's office. I did not know anybody. If you live in America and your papers are straight, America knows where you live 24/7. So when they wrote that check from the Department of Treasury, they put it in the mail. It landed in my mailbox. I open and see check. Now money be this? Yes. And that's how I supported people in Nigeria, plus put food. Even food was everywhere. They had centers, churches, government buildings where they were dispensing food. They know the importance of food. Starve Americans for one day, then you burn the country down. See, that's how they have what they call social security. They have social welfare policy. I interviewed a Nigerian professor some years ago who was a professor of social work. When I talked about social welfare policy, he was looking at me like, what is this guy talking about? Social welfare policy, like a country has a policy of taking care of its vulnerable people. Vulnerable people mean maybe old people who are retired, very people who are sick and out of work, or you suddenly lose your work. They have to give you something to support you before you find another job. Yes, it's happening here. Yes, can you talk about that in Nigeria? Even the small COVID fund that they gave to you, just come and see thousands of people. There was stampede. No, but here there was no stampede. Everybody. Many Nigerians will not tell you the truth. But me and him here, we are no hold back people. We will tell you the truth. Wake up, Nigerians. Wake up. It's not like Nigeria does not have the means to do what America is doing, even more. Then you come and tell me, oh, they have been there since 257 years. That's when they got in the. Why do you say, why do we have to go through that route? But you are not asking me questions about why Nigerian thieves, politicians, a lot of them school drops out. We come to America and buy vehicles that Americans will only dream about. Yeah, they buy the most expensive vehicles and bring them to those bad roads in Nigeria. You are not asking them. You are asking me about independence. How long America became independent? You know, America was a British colony. Yes, America said, tell British, F you. We are not going to be paying taxes to you. We want to build our country. They dismantled their system. For when British is going left like that, like they drive on the left side of the road, America started driving on the right hand side because they didn't want anything Britain anymore. And that is what Nigeria must do. When America did it, how long did it take before they became a superpower? Now America cough, Britain will listen. Britain cannot take any decision without involving America. If America say we are not going, it's not going. Do you see what Donald Trump is doing to them, the entire Europe? When if one Donald Trump speaks, the whole Europe will be catching cold. Nigeria is positioned like America was positioned to be that for Africa. But you, especially the young people in Nigeria, everybody is scared. Yes. Even the moderate, they are supposed to be good Fulanis, but they are nepotistic. They don't see anything evil in what any fellow Fulani is doing. 10 out of our country's heads of state were Fulanis, or either directly or remotely. They took time to ruin the country, and we are all looking at them now. People must die in any time when they want change. If you are afraid of that death by going to combat, they will come to you and kill you like they are already killing the people. So it is our cause. Hey, brother Gumba, make you talk.
I'm just saying that, it's not for us to reinvent the wheel.
Yes.
Systems that work are already very evident in the world. We should just improve on them. That's all. And if we can't improve on them, just copy them. Just copy them. There is
Yes.
nothing like mail delivery service in Nigeria anymore. Nothing like that. It is more standard to have things that don't work. It may work, for just the little time, but there is no maintenance in it. It will
Yes.
fall apart.
Thank you.
So that is our Nigeria. And if Nigeria doesn't want to work, let us go our Biafra, go our own way. Let us go our own way. They say the keeping Nigeria one is sacrosanct, but you will not ever be lead Nigeria. You never ever rule Nigeria. Then have your sacrosanct to yourself. You know, let your sacrosanct yourself. You know, and leave those of us who don't sacrosanct. And if you don't, what what worse can happen to a Biafran that hasn't happened to Nnamdi Kanu? Is it because they didn't kill him? They tried to kill him, effectively kill him, you know, massacred his people. to get at him. These people do not know the rule of law. Hausa must take power away from Fulani because Hausa are civilized. Fulani is not civilized. We don't want nothing to do with Fulani. I have Fulani friends. So long as I don't hear them saying the same thing I'm saying, condemning their own people, they too are my enemy, even though they were my friends. If they are not calling out their people, if they are not saying these things that I'm saying, there is real for me, it is just an interest in what is the welfare of human beings. I don't wear Nigerian clothes. I don't eat their food. I've not been to Nigeria in nearly 20 years. I don't like Nigeria because you cannot talk to people and Nigeria on in honesty, honest truth. They think it is taboo for you to talk to a Nigerian, a real Nigerian. I don't mean those that have been tampered by the exposure of going out and so on. A typical Nigerian in Nigeria is looking to cut corners, to make a buck out of you, to take from you, to steal from you, lie to you, everything. Their whole culture has been convoluted. That is just, the whole thing. I will fight and die for Nigeria. But the way they are constituted there, I don't want any part of that.
Wow.
I bought a pack, a pack, well advertised and commercial details and everything, supposedly of plantain flour. Opened it, it was dry yams,
Hmm.
and it was put in a plantain. Well, it's not. There are 1,001 other things like that in Nigeria. But the thing is, as presently constituted, let them be as rich as they want, build as many mansions as they want. I don't want to be rich. If I'm rich, that's because it fell on my lap. I'm not going to do anything extraordinarily, you know, different from what I'm doing to just get by and live in peace. Not only live in peace, but make sure that nobody tramples my rights.
Absolutely.
I'd rather that my right is intact than to be rich. Because, I mean, Mansa Musa of Mali was a billionaire several times over. Nobody knows any of his relatives now. Wealth is transitional. You
Absolutely.
know, what is his name? Who is on CNN? What do you
Uh,
call him? The yeah, the light, the white skinned, light haired, guy.
yes.
Forgotten his name, but Vanderbilt anyway is their family. They used to own half of New York skyline.
All that is not gone.
Yes, all of that. None of it is in their hands now.
That was why one young man was telling me, why you doing all this? You don't have a house even in your hometown. You
Mhm.
don't have a property in Abuja. I asked him, where's the Jesus Christ that they talk about? Everybody worships. Where's his land? Did he buy any land when he was alive doing his work? Where's the mansion King Solomon built? Is it still there? Where is it? And many other people. It's very stupid people. They do all this.
Because material things are very, very important for them.
Yes,
Yes, when you are brought up with too much of want, you are deprived of everything. Material things become very, very important to you. Lying and cheating, making a profit off of your mom. A Nigerian will sell goods to their mother at a profit.
it's sad. Hey, Rocky Oasis, listening from Colorado. Thank you very much for joining us. And you did a follow-up statement here. Most of humanity has been hollowed out by capitalism and try to profit off each other anymore. Absolutely. You are right. You are right. So that's what it is. Yes. And Now we've been talking about the national security crisis in Nigeria. Nigeria is crying for help, even if some people are pretending, talking about the sovereignty and all that. You know, something happened um, in my local government a couple of days ago, precisely on the 29th, on the 19th of this month, January. There was this place they call Uromi Junction. You know, when you are coming from Lagos, you know,
Mhm.
passing through Agbo, um, they said the area, something got bad there. And you know what the state governor did? They decided to put a flyover. All right, you needed to see the celebration. I was trying to put a picture of it up here so the world can see. And a flyover to a bad road, a flyover over a bad road, a flyover to nowhere. My brother, you need to see this celebration. It was not that flyover. The construction work has not started. They rolled out a red carpet for the flag off on the 19th of January 2026.
And maybe
And the
his
whole all
brother-in-law
the
his
rulers,
brother-in-law had the contract to buy the carpet and the build the tents and the so on and so forth.
yes. You know, when I asked questions, somebody told me that I'm jealous. Yeah, that's what he told me. I'm jealous. Yeah, I live a better life than the governor of Delta State because since we have been talking now, the light has not blinked. They buy generator. I don't go. I don't go buying generators. I don't go buying diesel to power my house. I don't drive on bad roads. I don't have to buy SUV. When I ran for Senate, I brought a brand new car to Nigeria. You know where my car got damaged? Kogi State. Kogi State. I got to Guinea. They said that the road straight to Abuja was something was going on there. So I went into inside the Kogi. Man, my brand new sports car that I thought that I was going to enjoy in Nigeria. Man, no. I managed to get that car to Abuja. And since then, that feel of a sports car died. I dumped the car in Abuja. It's there. I'm not driving it anymore. Then on my way, I saw the large expanse, massive Ajokuta steel industry building that they constructed with over $450 million at the time. Abandoned. I was asking some people, is this part of Nigeria? They told me, yeah. Now, these are the people who went today, to donate 100 million naira towards Bola Ahmed Tinubu's campaign in 2027. So, what do you have to say about the mindset of Nigerians? Seriously.
I don't deal with them.
But we are dealing with them.
Well, see, the thing is this, they're very smart. Well, they're smarter than me because it's not customary for me to play the games and the lies and so on. I would not know before I get taken. That's why I stay away from them. Because if you cannot trust the word from somebody's mouth, why will you deal with them? They're tough cookie. They're really, really smart. They're really, really smart.
Now, what corruption is one of the big problems in the Nigerian security sector, especially the police. So we are talking about this community police. What way do you think we can curb corruption and protect that institution that we believe is going to work for Nigeria?
Um, we cannot decree it for all of Nigeria because we don't know if all of Nigeria will be intact. But we will for damn sure kill each other in Biafra if they bring part of what is happening in Nigeria into Biafra. That's not going to happen because everything about Nigeria is corrupt, is disjointed. You can't go to the government office and find somebody on seat. You can't fill out a passport form and not have to pay bribe. You cannot import things in Tinkan Island and they release it to you until it is a day or two before it enters demurrage. Then they will start making you run helter skelter and pay them bribe. They have worked it out. It's a science. Corruption in Nigeria is a science. We cannot just transition from Nigeria into Biafra. We must leave everything Nigeria behind. Or if we are going to stay in Nigeria, we must have a new Nigeria. Because this new Nigeria that is guided by religion, by who knows who, by tribe, and by all their matrices for determining who is valuable is not going to work. And the only way we will make sure that things change is that we will have to disallow Fulani anywhere near the decision making. They don't have the constituency, they don't have the numbers. We can effectively put Fulani in the back burner. Them people is terrible people.
Well, your position on the Fulanis is extreme. Why is that?
Because no, look at what they have led. Nigeria was a country of milk and honey. Nigeria used to be a place where if you went to the US to study, you are rushing home to go and work at home in Nigeria. It didn't take them but a few years to destroy the place, and they destroyed it with impunity. Understand? Look out! I know you know the meaning of impunity. Look it up again. This is people who do things regardless of what the rule says. You cannot continue to run, a government, whatever, outside the rules forever, and something does not give. It's your mentor, Bob Marley, who says every day the bucket goes to the well.
Well,
One day the
what,
bottom will
what,
drop out.
wow, yeah, man.
If America did not make this their statement around September and so on and so, these people had us beat. They were in every forest. They were armed to the teeth. The Fulani who run Nigeria, who run our air force, who never intercepted any of those helicopters dropping arsenal and supply to them, they gave them a pass through. This thing is like the Marshall Plan. This
Yes.
plan was comprehensive,
Very comprehensive.
very, very comprehensive.
Very, very
They put them in all our strategic locations
yes.
and lifted motorcycles to them. These motorcycles they drive did not pass through our ports.
Hmm.
Their weapons and logistics were planned out massively. They had us like, when you roast a pig, hog tie a pig
Yeah.
in a fire. Yes, and they had us like that. And we are
Wow.
still not out of the woods.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
just that it is possible at this time that they will die in those forests because the American Israeli initiative is to pursue them all the way to Arabia.
All right, Rocky Oasis. You said I am not familiar on topic, but I will research. Okay, that'll be good. But let me run down what exactly we are talking about. We are talking about the national security crisis in Nigeria with a failed policing system because the policing is not sensitive to the people. Like we versus them police, like an occupation force, because the policing system has been that we inherited from colonial Britain. They got worse with Nigerians now in charge. So what we are advocating that will work for the people of Nigeria is a friendly policing system that has to do with every community like it is here in the United States. I am so happy that you are from Colorado. I've been to Denver a couple of times. I know that the policing system there is not much, it's not different from what we have here in Texas. Yes, policing at the community level. Everybody knows everybody. So it makes the police closer to the people and the people closer to the police. When there is any trouble, the police know where to beam their searchlight. So we want to replicate that for Nigeria. Long overdue. Nigeria has been independent, so-called Greek gift of independence, since 1960. So this year, Nigeria will be 65. 65 years of independence. But security wise, no, we don't have it. And Nigeria is home to a lot of mineral and natural resources. And some of the brightest people in Nigeria, I'm sure you know a couple of Nigerians. I know they are everywhere in Colorado. Yes, there are a lot of them. If you go to some of the universities there, you see Nigerian professors there doing great things. But when those people go home, they can't find a place to thrive. They are like the fish out of water. So we want to change something, and we are trying to inspire our people to demand for what is going to work. A police should be police that I know and that I can hold accountable if it
From
does
among us, from among
from
us,
among us,
among our community.
among the people. So that's what this whole topic is. You said I watch chat like this to be better informed beyond my own state. Yeah, thank you very much for showing that interest. You know, when you ask questions, you become more informed. New government with people that have to be held accountable for policy that does not work. ASAP. Thank you very much for that strong suggestion right there. Nigeria is run by some criminals who have grown bigger than the people. They don't think that anybody means anything. They breathe down on the people, even though they say that we are in a democratic country. That country is not democratic by any means. They came here. Over 2,000 Nigerians were brought here between 1978 and 1979 to understudy the U.S. Presidential democratic system. But they took absolutely nothing home. What they took home was what will work for them and what will make them kings over the people. And here we are. Since 1979, the country has continuously grown worse. Now it is a hell on earth. They don't like to hear this. They will call him unpatriotic for speaking the truth. True patriots speak the truth about the sorry state of their country. And we owe nobody any apologies for what we do. And that is why we differ. So if you are joining us for the very first time, please subscribe to our channel and give us some likes. You know, if you like what we are doing, because doing so help us to grow. And then there's nothing wrong. You know, support our growth. You know, send us super thanks, send us gifts. You know, from our channel that here. All those things are being displayed out there. It helps us grow, and it gives us the confidence that we need to continue to be here, to stay online. We spend a lot of time doing what we do. So we appreciate our members. You can also join our membership, you know, to help us, you know, generate the heat we need to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And we have to appreciate all of you who take your time to be here among millions of YouTube channels, you know, from around the world. Maybe perhaps we are doing something. I know where we were sometime last year, and I know where we are right now. And great thing is that we have all organic subscribers. You know, it means people who come here with a purpose. They want to learn, they want to share their own experience with us, and they want to help us grow. Thank you very much for that. We have been with Mr. Charles Ugumba, a die-hard Nigerian patriot and a Biafran patriot. He became a soldier at the age of 12. He has been in the trenches all his life, and we take him very seriously here for the great job that he's doing. He does a lot of work in Nigeria, helping young people. He has a school right now where mathematics, engineering, and Chinese is being taught. Yes, at his own expense, to bring young, especially Hausa people and other young deprived children in Nigeria up to par with the children of the oppressors, in order for us to have the Nigeria of our dream. So special thanks to Mr. Charles Ogumba. Now, before you leave, Mr. Charles Ogumba, the country is in a near total chaos. I don't know if it is not near already or it's in there. We're already there. Nothing is working. No hospitals, no good schools, no good roads, electricity, everything. And the leaders, misleaders, unqualified people leading us. Imagine a country in the hands of a drug dealer, a certificate forger, and an identity thief paired by a terrorist, known terrorist with ties to Boko Haram, Al Qaeda, or other. And then the junior minister of defense is someone who was governor of Zamfara state for 8 years. And during his 8 year tenure, he was quartering bandits who are destroying the state. Now, the question here is this: there's a huge gold deposit in Zamfara state. And I believe that's the reason we are having the crisis, the real security trouble there in Zamfara state. They don't talk about that. What is the reason Nigeria cannot mine the solid minerals in the north, but they are able to extract the oil in my Niger Delta, our Niger Delta, in the south of Nigeria?
We have a system that was built on impunity. The impunity of the people who run Nigeria, which is Fulani, they still run it up till today. We are going to dispossess them in the polls because of Hausa awakening to find out they are not going to give their votes to these people. It is only with their votes that Fulani do what they do. But what Fulani set up for Nigeria was a country of impunity where they do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, and they leave you to pick the crumbs. If you like, you can embezzle whatever they leave, the crumbs that they leave. And when you are embezzling that, you talk about them, then they come and get it from you and put you in jail and use you as an example. So if law does not work in Nigeria, it's because the the magistrates and so on were appointed by Fulani. They have their mandates and how to, this. Nothing works. It's in the army, it's in the police, it's in the customs, it's in every segment of Nigeria's government. Impunity has destroyed it. The only way we can do it is to take Fulani's hands out of our government completely. We can't spare those people.
Wow. All right, let's talk about Nnamdi Kanu. Well, I don't know if we should do a rendition about how they took him from, seized him from Kenya, brought him to Nigeria, held him in captivity, tried all that they could to look for ways to jail him. They could not until they harvested one rogue judge that sentenced him on spurious charges that were not part of the original charges. So now, do you see Nnamdi Kanu staying in his life throughout his lifetime in that Sokoto prison?
no way. Nnamdi Kanu will be out before 2027. And what will happen is that, you know, I'm not quoting any memorandum or whatever. I'm not there. I've not heard from anybody. But the US government must have given Tinubu some marching orders about what to do. And he has accepted that. But he has put it in the back burner because he's going to go on the premise that he will ordinarily get Muslim Northern Hausa votes. So when the time for election comes, he will release Nnamdi Kanu in the hope that it will give him Igbo votes. That is whether I don't know if they are APC, right? That's
Yeah.
how they are going to approach any portion of the Igbo vote that they think they will get. But all of that will fail because anything powered by the old dispensation is not going to work this time. Nigerians are fed up. They know that life was life was hard. 6 days of Tinubu coming to power, becoming president. So there is nothing. Nigeria is in a holding pattern. It is in a transition right now. So nothing we are saying will be what it will be. We will either be one Nigeria without Fulani, or if it's going to be with Fulani, then it's going to be Biafra.
Okay. Yeah, you just threw up a question. Just sometime last week, some group. Actually, there's one this Fulani activist. I don't know if for me it's a mischievous person, Mr. Mahdi. He gave some.
Madi Shehu.
Yeah, yeah, it's an idiot. So the first time I encountered him, I thought he was a good person until I discovered that he was a mischievous person. I wish I could lay my hand on what he wrote about. Actually, somebody sent it to me. Maybe let me just read the condition he gave. The Igbos about Biafra. I think that was ridiculous. I don't know if this is. It's not on this one. Anyway, yes. Now, if assuming there are a lot of things out there in the air, me, I do not honestly, if you ask me, looking at the bigger picture and what I represent as a Pan Africanist, I wouldn't want Nigeria to break up. Well, I will continue to agitate until there's nothing to agitate for anymore about Nigeria. So that's why I leave that. Because I know that the day I change my position, I start speaking about the division of Nigeria, I think it will be fast tracked. But I would want us to give Nigeria that benefit of Nigerians.
I,
That
I don't want Nigeria to break up, not at the least. But
yes,
one thing I will not accept anymore
yes.
is Fulani control of Nigeria.
I agree with you. Me, I don't want it. And that is why we are speaking openly about it.
Yes.
We receive threats every day, but they can't do anything to me. And I've told us, there are some young Hausa boys that they were trying to rope into something. But I believe he got the message. This dispensation is not a dispensation of when they said something like they did in the past, everybody will be running helter skelter. I pity those who continue to run because you continue to run, you are fueling them. So what they think they can do, I believe we can do it 200 times better than they are. They know how to do it. Now, somebody was talking about uh, breakup of Nigeria. They made mention of Biafra. They made mention of Oduduwa. They made mention of something. And somebody asked, where will the middle belt go? Are they going to go? Where will the Hausa people go? Are they going to stay with the Fulanis in the same country? If you were an Hausa person now speaking, would you want to be in the same country with the likes of Erufai, Pantami, Atiku, and the rest of them?
Well, they have a voice now because they are still running. But everything is determined at the polls. If the Hausa do not, because take Kano for instance, I don't know how many local governments council areas they have there. Nearly 80% or more of the local government chairmen are Fulani, and they constitute only a small portion of Kano State.
Yes.
We can't have that in Nigeria. That's not going to happen going forward.
Hmm.
Fulani should not ever again in Nigeria garner any more, should I say, control of Nigeria than befits their 6% of the population.
Wow. 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 So now I come back to the Hausa rebellion. I would say, is tepid right
No,
now. Like the momentum
it's
is.
called reawakening,
is
reawakening. Not
yeah,
we
let's
yeah,
yeah, that-
yes.
yeah, not rebellion. They are waking up from their sleepless slumber. And a lot of them are asking questions. A lot of them have become more, I would say, more conscious about how religion was used to dupe them, you know. And I saw a lot. There's this young man that I always speak with. That young man, Habibu, and there's another one, um, Jibrin. These guys are so conscious, so conscious. You need to hear them speak. And now I see the more of the Africanness in the Hausa people than I have seen ever before. These people are authentic Africans, you know. So we are here. Can you talk to the people of Nigeria about how the best way they can support the Hausa people to free so that the rest of us can be free?
Even just verbal encouragement and calling out to them. What we are saying now about Fulani, I've been saying since 2012. 2012, because I understand the Fulani, I know them very well. And when I was saying it, I remember the managing director of Lot Management Services, our arm that works to sustain the school in Nigeria. One of the first things that him and I got connected about was that he had challenged me that it's not possible for Hausa and Fulani to break apart, because I was advocating it at the time.
Yes.
It was inconceivable at the time. In fact, at that time, the 18-wheeler trailer loads of those people, Bamanga
Yes.
and so on, that were brought into us had not come yet. They had not yet come in our forest. It happened like a flood
Yes.
around 2020 or so, or thereabouts, when they were, just coming down in droves. That had not happened then. We didn't even know that there was going to be this kidnapping and terrorists in our forests and so on, and that they were even going to start preying on Hausa. It was the same, playbook that they used. They preyed on Hausa. How can you say you are one with them? You killed their kings. You tricked them and overpowered them when they thought you were their allies. You deceived them. That happened 200 years ago. Then the new version now is that they just said, hey, you know what? You and us may practice the same religion, but our doctrines are separate. And they were committing heinous crimes in mosques.
Yeah, a young girl, yeah, one of these young men. They told me how they go to the mosque to rape women inside the mosque.
To desecrate it, to desecrate it.
How are they Muslims? How will a Muslim rape another Muslim inside the mosque? Why?
You tell me.
Wow. Wow.
So, if these people can muster this type of wickedness, I owe anybody. I don't owe anybody any apologies for what I write about them, what I say about them, and how I feel about them.
Wow. Rocky
So
OS said
let's
the
take
younger
let's take
generation.
let's let's round it up on the note that we're
Okay,
in a
yeah, let me
whole.
just take this reading, because we have a lot of work to do.
Yes.
A reading from Rocky Oasis. He said, "Younger generation can help make change," and yeah. So anyway, we have already assigned to the young Nigerians what they ought to be doing, and it is only for them. I hope they will heed now and maybe save their lives, because they are the most imperiled Nigerians. It's their generation that is under assault. So, Mr. Ogumba, it's been such a wonderful, wonderful moment being with you as always. We thank you, and we look forward to having you back here. And the next one we're going to be talking about electoral reform in Nigeria. We have dealt with the security thing, and I hope uh, Nigerians will understand where we are coming and how it will positively impact them if they have people who look like them, people who they can speak to, people who they can relate to, being the police officers and security people around them. I think Nigeria will be better and a stronger country for them. Thank you very much for being here with us, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, take care.
You bet.
Yeah. Yes, listeners from Nigeria, across Africa and around the world, we have been talking about this serious national security challenge that we have been having in Nigeria, and it just reached a very dangerous crescendo. Nigerians are most insecure. Their children are insecure. They go to school. Some people come with buses to cut them away into the bush, rape them, extort their parents. They pay. Some people sell their property in order to be able to pay their ransom. And everything is coming crashing in Nigeria. And we have these morons as leaders who don't know a damn thing, but still the country's resources. And they have emasculated the people. The people in there are not able to raise their fingers to ask questions, so they kowtow, and everybody acquiesced, to this evil that is raging in the land. So our job is to find solution, and we have made some serious prescriptions about how to police the country and remove the army. The army has no business doing civil policing inside Nigeria. They have become so corrupted. They abuse our people. They desecrate everything about Nigeria. They abandon their constitutional duty here, which is supposed to be defending the country's territorial integrity and sovereignty, into doing police work. Yes, so that is a clash, and something that should not be happening at all. Yes, so when a country's army is being deployed to do police work, they leave the terrorists and then fight the ordinary people. And the police we have in Nigeria, because it's a very corrupt institution. You don't talk to a Nigerian police, the next thing is money, 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 money. So we don't have a police. So the people are just, oh, they are tent, oh, children of Israel. We need that change. And that is what we just talked about today. So if you joined us for the very first time, we really thank you, for being part of this conversation. Rocky Oasis, thank you very much for all your contributions. We appreciate you.